So here we're going to be looking at 12.4, changing terms, and it's the your turn. So in this lesson here, in lesson 12, we're looking at changing the terms of the loan. We're looking at when you might have a loan and then at some point during the loan, one aspect of it changes. It might be the interest rate, it might be the payments you're putting into or drawing out of an account, or it could well be a lump sum payment, which we looked at in 12.3. Now this video is designed to be a your turn, so what that means is I need you to work through this entire question and only press play when you feel like you've done it and you've done it to the best of your ability and just checking your answers basically. So here we go. We're going to go through the answers now. Ray borrows 120k at a rate of 5.9% per annum compounded monthly over a period of 14 years before the account closes, i.e. he pays off the loan in that time. So the first question is saying, calculate Ray's monthly repayments on this loan. Now, if it doesn't mention whether to use a sequence or whether to do the finance app, always lean towards the finance app. In particular, when you're working out monthly repayments, the recursive rule is terrible at working out monthly repayments. So what we're going to do now is to show the marker what we're doing is we're going to show our working or what we're typing into our ClassPad app for the finance app. It's per year, compounds per year. Next one is let's plug in what we know. The interest rate is 5.9%. He's borrowing 120,000, so that's positive. We're working out payments. I'm going to draw an arrow to show we're going to solve for that. FV is going to be 0, he's paying off the loan. The payments per year in this case and the compounds per year look like they're both 12. And now we need to work out N. So payments per year is 12, and how long is this going to go on for? 14 years. Okay. Now your ClassPad's able to handle that, but I believe it's 168. Let's go into our finance app and find out the payment. So edit, clear page, and let's go 14 times by 12, 168, cool, I hope they got that right, 5.9%. The PV is 120k. Payments we're going to work out, 0, 12, and 12. Next one, let's click PMT. We have our answer, negative 1051.10, which means I am paying out of my pocket $1,051 every month. Okay, and so we can say we're paying $1,051.10 every month. And if he pays that exact amount, Ray is going to pay off this loan in exactly 14 years based on this interest rate. So next question, how much does Ray owe after 2 years? Now this one's pretty simple. All I'm going to do is just show the one change I'm going to make, N and FV. So N is now going to be 12 times 2, which is 24, and we're going to solve for FV. Okay, so 12 times 2, and we're going to figure out our FV. We're going to assume he's going to do the same payments. Negative 108,284.70. Okay, and that's going to be his final balance after that amount of time. So therefore, Ray owes $108,284.70. Let's move on to the next example. C, how much will Ray repay in total and in interest to pay off this loan? Okay, now sum of payments, so this one here, what's his total payments? He does 168 payments, and what is each payment? It's 1051.10. Okay, now if we put that into our calculator, you'll find that he spends $176,000, $584.80. Okay, so this is his total payment. Now, we want to work out how much interest he's going to pay. So what we can do to work out the interest is he's paid this much. Let's take off his PV. So if we take away his PV, let's see how much that's going to be. So the PV was 120k. So how much has he paid in interest? The sum of interest is $56,584.80. $0.80. Now I'm going to double check that because that just doesn't seem right. So I'm just looking at my answers here. Oh yeah, sorry, I've just I've misread my own numbers. Yep, that's absolutely fine. So $56,594.80. Now that's his total interest. Now, if you just wanted to use your ClassPad app to make sure you got that right, we can still use the amortization app. Okay, now I'm going to keep harping on about that because it just saves so much time. So if you want to work out that, we need to count from payment period 1, so the first month, up to 12 years of, 14 years of 12 months. Okay, and I think we've already found that value, right? Wasn't it 168? So up 168 months. Now let's just use our amortization app to make sure that that $56,000 answer is correct. So we go calc, amortization, 12168, click sum of interest, $56,585.01. Now, the reason why they're slightly different is you notice that your payment is actually to lots of decimal places. Now, no doubt a bank would actually keep to quite a few decimal places, but if I just change that to 10 and then we go sum of in, we can see it's 12. Okay, it's a very similar answer. I'm not quite sure that discrepancy there, but yeah, overall, I think that's pretty good. I think it's something to do with what we've paid. Personally, I actually think the amortization app might be a bit more accurate than the method we were using before. So this is the method I'd be leaning towards. Okay. All right. Now, maybe I shouldn't have adjusted that either. So I think this is actually more accurate. Okay. So let's move on. What was that answer? Oh, well, that's gone now. So you saw the answer there before, and that's what you can put down there. So both answers will probably be accepted, just because they're rounding. Okay, let's move on to part D. Now, this is where the change in terms of the loan comes in. After 2 years, the interest rate increases. Bugger, that's going to suck. That's what's happening right now, unfortunately, to 7.1% per annum compounded monthly for the remainder of the 14-year period. So 2 years in, looks like the interest rate goes up. There's our change in terms of the loan. And then for the remainder of the 14-year period, so for 12 years, you're experiencing 7.1% instead of the original rate of 5.9%. So now we're looking at it from the perspective of 2 loans. So here we go. What monthly repayments must Ray make for the remainder of the loan period? So he's going to increase, probably, his monthly repayments so he can still pay off his loan in that 14-year period. So what's this going to look like? Well, I'm going to write out what I'm going to put into my ClassPad: N, I, PV, PMT, FV, payments per year and compounds per year. And what we're doing here is we're working out for the remaining 12 years. We're trying to work out his payments for the remaining 12 years. So what's his N? Well, he's got 12 years times by 12, which is 144 months left to pay this off. His interest rate's gone up to 7.1%. Now, his PV, that PV comes from the balance after 24 months. Remember, this is 2 years in when this happened, and that value comes across and becomes the new PV. We've worked out that value. Okay, so the balance after 2 years is this amount here. So this is 108,284.70, and that's the amount that's going to go there. So 108,284.70. Now, we are trying to solve for how much he needs to pay to still pay this off in 12 years, the remaining part of it. He's going to pay it off, so it's going to go to 0, and these are both 12s. Let's find out what that's going to go to. Okay, so go calc, compound interest. We're going to solve for n. The interest rate is going to go up to 7.1%. His PV, what does he have left? It's 108,7, oh, is it 2? 284.70, and his F fee is going to be 0. What's N? It's going to be 12 years of 12 months, and let's click PMT. 119.36. 119.36. And there we go. Now this amount is negative because he's still having to owe that. So therefore, Ray needs to increase his monthly repayments to $1119.316 per month. Okay, so this is the amount he's going to. Okay, now remember, what was he paying before? He was paying 1051.10. So it looks like the increase has been just over $100. And then at the new interest rate, we can see he'll still pay off the loan in time. So how much extra does Ray have to pay as a result of the increase in the interest rate? So we've already worked out that he's paid in total $176,000 originally, but let's work out what the new amount is. Okay, so the original sum of payments was there we go. Originally, it was $176,584.80. So this is the original. Now we're going to do the new. Okay, so this one is going to be, he's got 24 payments originally, so this is the first 2 years, and he was just paying it at the original rate. Okay, and that original rate was 1051.10. Then he's going to pay the remainder 144 months at the new rate that he's going to pay, 1119.36. Now the sum of these payments in total makes 186,414.24. So how much does he have to pay extra? He has to pay, and you just deduct one away from the other, 9997.44 extra or additionally. Let's move on to F. After the interest increase, Ray decides to continue repaying the loan at the same rate found in A. What effect will this have on the time it takes to pay off the loan? Okay, now what this is saying is we're going to keep that same repayment rate. Okay, and we're going to figure out the amount of time it's going to take to pay off the loan. Now the new amount is 7.1%. Now do you remember the new part of this loan? He has $108,284.70 remaining. He's just going to continue paying at his original rate of 1051.10, and then he wants to pay it off. And it's just going to be like, how long extra is it going to take? So let's go into the finance app, clear that, and that's his PV. Now his payments, negative 1051.1, and we're going to click N. We have 159.41. So let's have a look. So how will this affect the time? So this is going to take 160 months to pay off the second part of this loan. So what's the total time? The total time is he had the first 24 months, okay, so the first 2 years, plus this new 160 month part here. So this is it was meant to be remaining of 12 years, but now it's 160 months, okay? So let's find out what this total time is. If we put that all together, it's 184 months. Now, what was it meant to be originally? We know that the original loan was meant to be paid off in 168 months. which corresponds to 14 years. So therefore, it's going to take him 16 extra months to pay off this loan if he just continues at the original payment rate. So you can see here is the amount you pay every month really does influence how long or how short you can take to pay off a loan. The last one is the amount of interest Ray will pay. Okay, so I'll just use the sum of payment strategy here. So the sum of payments, we can go and just go, in this case, originally we knew that we're looking at the effect, isn't it? Yeah. So originally he was going to pay 170. Okay. Now, and 80 cents. Now we need to find out the new balance. Okay, so here we go. So this is where the changes of, and what was it? Is it 7.1%? %, and then original payments. Okay, so the sum of the payments, he's done 180, and I'll make this clear. You've got the first 2 years, so the first 24 months plus 159 more months of paying at that rate of 1051.10. Then there's that final payment that we have to work out. Okay, to work out the final payment, go in here, and what we want to do is we want to make that 160. Okay, click FV, and he's overpaid by $614.79. So let's work out that final payment now. Final payment. Okay, now what we're going to do is work out that total. Let's put this all in. So go 24 plus 159 times by 1051.1, and then we add on that payment, 436.31. So the amount now is $192,787.61. So what's the effect? Well, the effect is we take one away from the other. So we can say that Ray will pay an extra $16,202.81. Okay. Now, I hope that's more or less the answer there. My answer in my booklet is slightly different, so I might need to check that answer. But overall, this is the strategy that we're meant to be using here to help us work out these kinds of questions. And you can see they take forever to solve some of these problems. So they're usually worth around 10 marks. And if you look at a test, it's going to be around 40 marks. That's a quarter of the test. So if you can get your head around these, then it's fantastic. Thanks for your time today. I hope this video is useful. Thanks.